with Julia Griffin to master a higher frequency for a new state of mind. Once you walked in a forest of splendor in which everything you did and everything you thought was aligned. It is possible at this time to begin to return to the old knowledge. Intuitive healer and manifestor Julia Griffin is here to talk about this unique time in history when all sentient beings, animals, plants, trees, and the earth are intent on creating this change. The wolves awakened her to the most incredible light, which opened gifts and brought knowledge that she longs to share. You are creators, and you are born to be creators of beauty, possibility, and joy. Join Julia on a journey into a beautiful and magical world where amazing possibilities exist. Let us help open the door. The power of inspiration and awakening with Julia Griffin starts right now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Griffin. We're live, and you're listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour and let us help you have a higher vibration and a new state of mind. For those of you who are not familiar with me or you haven't met me before, I awakened with wolves. I met a real wolf that talked to me just as people talk, and they taught me to read the energy of the heart. I can intuitively hear people, plants, animals, and so there's a lot out in the world, and I hope that you can hear it someday too, or at least feel it. I'm sure you feel it because you're probably awakening if you're listening to this. So I intuitively hear all those things, and I became a healer and a writer as a result, and you can find me at onetrueself.com. Well, I'm delighted today to have a person who knows all about angels. If you followed me, you know that I love to have guests who tell us about angels and how to commune with them and different tips involved. So let me tell you about her. She's very interesting. She's an ancient soul who's here to help humanity rise up. She has decades of work as a writer, speaker, and coach, and she's helped zillions of people. She's always been sensitive, but she led a pretty normal life before she started receiving angels and angel messages. She was a magazine editor and writer. She specialized in creating brand new automotive enthusiast magazines and chef recipe food magazines. I love to cook, so yay. So before launching a personal transformation magazine, I think that was Law of Attraction, which was sold nationwide. Along her nonlinear journey, Sue has also owned a couple of marketing agencies, served as a spokesperson for the automotive aftermarket, ghostwriting for 2 books for Ed Begley Jr., and held leadership roles at the health technology and educational technology startups. So she helps people get through their limiting beliefs, and today we're going to talk about her very cool book, My Angel Coach, Receive Your Divine Guidance and Feel the Angels' Love. And there is a lot in this book about love and their special attunement. So we're going to talk about that today. Welcome, Sue. I'm so happy to have you.
Oh, I'm delighted to be with you.
So what a career you had. Most people would say, why are you being an angel coach when you could have a career like that? What's your answer?
Because the angels insisted.
Mhm.
I believe that we're all on a divinely guided journey and we're gathering the experiences and the skills to be ready to do, to be the right tool for a job of the divine.
Right.
So all those years of writing, hands-on how-to articles for car magazines and figuring out how to organize a lot of content in different
Right.
magazines made it really easy actually to do the book that the angels told me to do a couple years ago.
No, I know about that. I had wolves. I said I would never be a psychic, haha. So I didn't mean to. It's just they taught me so much. I started reading everything, and then people wanted to pay me to do it. So that's how it all got started. Okay, so before we go too far, and I'm going to ask some specific questions, I want you all to know, so you stay with us for this. A whole lot of her book that really touched me was the fact that she talks about how important self-love is, how important putting yourself first is, how important becoming love in your life is. And we're moving from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age, and it's important to know that putting everyone else first was a big Piscean concept because it involves sacrifice. In the Aquarian age, we're trying to be balanced. We're trying to give as much to ourselves as we give to others. And it's a pretty big stretch for people who are natural empaths or intuitives or who still have that, I mean, because we like to give. But the balance is bringing it back for yourself. So I was going to say that I'll just ask a few things. One thing you say that I love, and I do this too, as you mentioned, beginning a letter or a prayer to angels with thank you for. Let's say thank you for, I don't know, a car. Thank you for abundance that I need. And you fill in the blank with whatever you desire. And I learned this a long time ago. And if you visualize, you want to see your desires already completed because the universe sees that very differently from a need or a must have.
Yes. And the angels, so we call it the angel delegation statement because the angels really want us to hand over every worry, every fear, all of our anxieties. And they encourage us to say, thank you, angels, for taking care of, and then fill in the blank. And I find that the more agitated I am, the more general I have to go. So if
Right,
I'm really all knotted up, I'll just say, thank you, angels, for taking care of everything,
right. Oh,
because
that's a good
I
one.
know that's true, right? And then I feel a little relief.
Yeah,
So when we feel relief or we feel a little lighter, like, oh, the weight of the world just got lifted off my shoulders, or the room gets a little brighter, that's how we know that it's working for us. And if we don't feel that yet, we just get to play with the words. So if I'm saying, thank you, angels, for taking care of, I don't know, the toenail fungus that won't go away, like something really
right.
specific, right? That I've got a lot
Yeah,
of momentum around. It doesn't have to be a big thing. If I say, thank you, angels, for taking care of my body, I feel lighter. If I say,
yeah. I
thank
can
you,
feel
angels,
that
thank you.
one right away. Yeah,
Yeah. So they're just encouraging us to give them everything that bothers us. Thank you for taking care of the planet. Thank you for taking care of governments. Thank you for taking care of my children, right? Like you can't
yeah.
give them too much to do. The only thing you need to do is notice if you feel any relief or if you feel more resistance, then just keep playing with it until you feel lighter.
Because I've noticed two things. One is that if something stresses me, I go into ego patterns of, oh my God, what's going to happen? I have to do something about this now. Oh no, I don't know what to do. What if? And
Right.
that's a pattern that we all have. The other piece of it is that when we go to school, we have all day long for years when they're teaching us to try to solve things logically. And no one
Right.
ever says, please solve it from your heart. And that's where
Right.
angels talk to us, is from our heart.
And when we're little, we do what I like to call effortless knowing.
Mm-hmm.
So we look at, 7 times 7 and the answer drops in, but the teacher
Right.
wants you to show your work.
Yeah.
So we get trained out of doing it where we just hold the question gently and the answer arrives, but they're asking us to return to that. That's actually the
Instead
natural.
of knowing, they're making us go into thinking.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
proving.
Yeah. Improve it.
Yeah.
But with
And
the,
I heard it from the wolves is not an acceptable answer in elementary school.
no, it's not. It's
And
not.
certainly not in college.
No. So it's like the whole way, and I'm not trashing all analytical thinking. I'm just saying that it's not very useful for creating happiness.
Well, and so the angels love our minds. Like I'm a recovering intellectual.
Hmm.
So they're not saying, shut your mind up. We don't ever want a thought between your ears. But they are saying, let us guide you, live your life from intuition. And then we
Right.
can use our mind to do really cool things like
Hmm.
coming up with great questions or
Right.
noticing evidence or, noticing what triggers us. Like we can use our mind as a tool to enable us to awaken more and to live more and more from guidance.
Right. And that you have a cool thing. I think it's called living with a question or live. Yeah. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we call it living in the question.
Yeah. In the
And
question.
and it's so powerful because, again, from the earliest age, we're taught to have the answer.
Hmm.
But when we have the answer, we've got one answer usually. And so that's very limiting. We have one possibility. And then we're taught to ask questions that elicit specific responses. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're
Exactly.
asking for the client to say yes, or you're proposing and you're wanting the person to say yes, or you're an attorney and you're leading the witness. We want certain answers from people. But again, super limiting. We might get one or two possibilities out of
Right.
that we would like. So more and more, they're asking us to, instead of, we like this workplace example. I could say, Angels, how can I get this project done by close of business on Friday?
Hmm.
But again, it's not one answer. It's more open-ended. It
Right.
gives more possibility. But then I could say, how could I allow this project to unfold with ease
Hmm.
and with joy? Like, oh my
Right.
goodness, actually bringing joy into the workplace. And that's definitely a lot broader. And we could even open it up. So how could I allow work to feel like connection and meaning and
Hmm.
collaboration? And the broader we go, the more possibility we create in our worlds.
Right. And that we have to have a lot of possibilities to have anything miraculous happen.
Absolutely, because we're sitting here at the ground level of reality and we can see what we can see and we
Hmm.
can intuit more, but the angels are at the highest perspective. They can see all the moving parts and pieces in the cosmos. They know divine perfect timing is not going to be Thursday at 3 o'clock. It's going
Right.
to be, a week from Thursday, and we're going to move all these things into position. So the more, and this has been a big part of my journey, the more I could let go of trying to make things happen on any particular schedule. Having been a magazine editor, it was all about deadlines, right? I
Oh, I
had to
bet. Yeah.
get things done at particular times, or we missed the print window to miss going on the newsstand. So it's been an unlearning of all of that and letting it happen in divine perfect timing, which it will, no matter what I do, it's going to happen in divine perfect timing.
Yeah. And you described in traffic, you know, how when you think that you're going to be late or you're running late, that something else is going on. And I've learned the same thing. For a long time, I would get these messages like, turn left right now. It's really important. And I would think, why? And so I would actually go back and look, and it would be something like a wreck or all the traffic was blocked off in that part of town. And then I know a really good trick. If you're running late, imagine yourself arriving at the right time. It doesn't matter what time it is. And either the person that you're meeting will be late, or they'll say, this worked out so much better for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I was really trained by my parents to be early, right? To be 5 minutes
Yeah.
early everywhere.
Mhm.
So I would get super stressed out if I wasn't going to be early. And I've learned that, again, if I can trust that the angels are orchestrating it, they
Hmm.
can bend time so I can get somewhere a lot faster than should be humanly possible. I've done
Right. I
7 hour
know.
drive in
That's what
five and
I'm
a half
saying.
hours. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if I can just trust that I'm running late, it's not wrong. It's perfect,
Yeah.
right? Who knows? That person may have needed to go to the bathroom and they're so happy that they're not like sitting there fidgeting the whole time they're talking to you.
Well, it
We don't know.
undoes really tight earth constraints of time and space. That's what you're saying that the angels can do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they can facilitate divine perfect timing in infinite ways, and they love
Right.
to surprise and delight us. But they
Hmm.
want to go back to your cool example about, turning left and discovering that there was traffic or there was an accident, because they will show us a lot of those things so that we learn to trust and to
Right.
follow what they tell us. But they also want to say that most of the time we're not going to know why we got specific
Right. I
guidance.
don't ever look anymore. That was just in the beginning. I just say I
Exactly.
trust this. This is
Exactly.
happening for
So
a reason.
they show us a lot of that evidence in the beginning so that we
Yeah.
do start to trust, because there are going to be a lot of things that we avoid. So
Hmm.
if we had gone through that intersection at the time we were going to be there, we would have gotten into a crash, but we
Right.
didn't. So there's no evidence that we did the right thing because we're fine.
Yeah, no. And then you think, well, why did I have to turn left? But if you do get the evidence in the early stages, after a while, you will never ever doubt it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so on the sort of on the same subject, we have the divine can literally use everything, every experience, every moment for our benefit. It uses everything to bring us new awareness, I would say widen the mind, new aha moments, and delicious self-seeing. So it can use things that feel like mistakes as gentle nudges to help us change our course. So tell us about that one.
Ooh, thank you for asking. So oftentimes our guidance comes one step at a time, right? So
Right.
we take that step, and sometimes we're like, why on earth would it tell me to do that? That feels so wrong. Clearly, that was a mistake. All these things went wrong. We want to go into judgment. We've been trained to do that again from a very young age. This is good. This is bad. This is right. This is wrong. But so many times the angels and the divine will guide us to take a step so that we can be sure we don't want to go in that direction.
Right.
Like, so much of what we think we want is what we've been told to want. So it's not always early in the journey. Sometimes this stuff surfaces later because that's divine perfect timing to see it.
Hmm.
But we may take that step and we feel, oh, wow, that was not at all the kind of person I want to date. That's what my mom told me I wanted to date,
Right.
or whatever it is. And so we know now we have new information. It's clarity, it's data, it's valuable self-seeing. Like,
Hmm.
oh, I didn't even realize how much of that stuff I had internalized from the movie I watched, or my
Right.
sister, or my best friend, right? Like, she's perfect with the attorney, but I don't want to be with somebody who wants
Hmm.
to debate every single thing. So
Hmm.
we come and it's self-seeing, right? It's so beautiful. We get to know ourselves better. So the angels really
I
want to
think too,
add,
I've done that with restaurants so much. I'll think I want to eat somewhere, but instead of asking where is the best place for me to go and eat, what resonates with me the most, I'll go to that place and I'll think it was so off. Why did I think I wanted to go here?
I had a girlfriend. We used to, when I lived in the Napa Valley, we would go out to restaurants all the time because that was our sport. And
Fun
sometimes I would sit
sport.
down and we would look at the menu and I would say to her, we have to leave. And she
Hmm.
never questioned it. She was like, okay.
Yeah. You just know it's not going to work when you get there.
Yeah, I mean, it may be that the cook was, coming down with something, and we were going to catch whatever it was through the food. So she just trusted. If I felt we got to go now, we just went.
Yeah. And so it's all a learning process, really.
It is. It's a process of discovery, and the angels love to surprise and delight us along the way.
Right.
So they bring us all these fun examples, and we learn things from the people sitting at the table next to us at the restaurant. It's awesome.
Or it's just fun. But one thing you say, and I totally agree with you, is that the source or the universe is the source of everything. All good things, all abundance, all joy. And I think we tend to think if I get this or I get this, I'll be happy. But it doesn't always work like that. And this is a really easy thing. Over the years, I've had so many people tell me, if I could have this person as a client, or if they would just pay me, everything would be fine. And I go like, well, skip to the universe is what pays you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So the angels will flow resources to us through the path of least resistance.
right.
So they want to say that again because it's really important. They will flow it through the path of least resistance. So many times people demand that, I loaned money to Joe and Joe needs to pay me back. And they're
Right.
like, that could be the path of most resistance. So
Yeah.
if you can let go of needing it to come from Joe, they can bring it to you from every place else.
Yeah.
So
I can give you a good example. One person said, I need this to pay on my credit cards this month. And I said, all right, so they haven't paid you for the month? And I said, okay, well, let's see it coming in. And so then he called back and he said, they called and they said I would have it in 10 to 12 days. And I said, you've been working for this place forever. Can't they just deposit it in your account? And he said, well, maybe. And then he called back and he said, they just called and deposited it in my account. But see, it didn't
and
occur to him.
exactly. And so that's one of the things that we find over and over again is that most people have limits that they don't realize they have, right?
We, oh,
They think when I was talking to one person, he was like, I could either retire from this job or I could keep doing this job in exactly the form it is. And I'm like, there might be a million other possibilities, but you're limiting yourself right now to two. So the more we can say, angels, what else is possible, right? We can get
right.
super general. Show me another way to let resources flow to me. Surprise and delight me with it. They
Hmm.
will. They love to.
Because we really haven't been encouraged to use our imagination.
Right, right. And
Uh,
then they can take it even another step, right? So the more that we can play with them and give them
Right,
carte blanche to do it however they think, because they can see again, like, oh, well, you didn't know that you were part of this class action over here, but we can send you a check for $2,000 that you had no idea was going to show up. It's like, thank you.
right.
I'll take it. In fact, they may have invented that whole class action thing or the refund over
I
there or
know.
the free gift card.
Whatever it is. Yeah, let it come in. And I do think that that's part of the thing about abundance is that we tend to equate it with work, and it's fine to make money on your work. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we could probably make a whole lot more if we made it about ourselves and the universe.
And part of the reason I'm on the planet right now is to help us shift what work is and how
Mhm.
work feels. So, because we were each built unique by the divine, like there's no
Right,
other being like me, there's no other being like Julia, not only on this planet, but anywhere in the entire cosmos. And the divine knows what we were built to do. It's
hmm
not that it's not going to be something we hate, and it's not
No.
going to be something we're terrible at. Like, I
Mm-mm.
think these are the biggest fears that we bump into with people. They're like, well, if I start to live from my guidance, they're going to make me do this heinous thing. And I'm like, no, if you're a vegetarian, they're never going to make you work at a chicken slaughterhouse. I mean,
Right,
why would they do that? That just would be cruel. So, the more we can start to notice, oh, this sucks the life out of me. Oh, this lights me up. I feel more energized after I do that. That's following our guidance. We call that feeling our way forward. So
right,
we start to notice like, oh, I'm really good at proofreading, but it sucks the life out of me now. Please
right.
don't make me proofread all day long.
You're
That
not supposed to do it anymore.
no.
Yeah.
And the work that I did, the angel coaching, is me showing up and being me. I don't have to do a ritual beforehand. I don't have to meditate. I can literally be freaking out, sit down, turn on Zoom, and do the work.
I understand. I've had that happen too.
Yeah, and it's that is possible for all of us. It's not that I'm different or special. We all have things that feel as natural as breathing. And more, the angels are going to bring us ways to either make money doing that thing, like coaching, or to feel and experience more of that doing whatever work we're already doing or some other work that they'll bring us.
Okay, so everybody's probably going to ask here, what is their purpose? Your purpose is to become more of who you truly are, that
Yes.
individual, unique nature that you have. If you'll step into that, you'll get to your purpose, whatever it is.
And your purpose is going to change. And
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many different purposes on the planet right now. Like there are many, many light workers whose purpose is to hold a specific energy.
Right.
So peace,
Yeah.
calm,
That's
joy.
what I've been working on.
So some people's purpose is so general. They're like, but what's my purpose? I'm like, that is it.
Yeah, for
One of
now,
our beloveds,
anyway.
yeah,
It
one of our
will
beloveds
change.
is to go her purpose is to go into the forest and journal and find clarity and peace and be with the trees she loves.
Mm-hmm.
That's her purpose. Is she getting paid for that? Not at the moment, but she is allowing resources to flow in other ways. So they don't
Right.
have to necessarily be tied.
No. And I really think, I don't know, I have a theory. I think we should all get 200K a year because I certainly would not stop working.
Right, exactly. I
Yeah,
do this work because I love to do it, and I
that's what I
likely will do
mean.
it till my last day unless there's something else I like doing anymore.
I wanted to add something though about how you can be having the worst day and then you start talking to a client and higher consciousness comes in. And that helped me so much emotionally because I realized I could interrupt myself when I was in a dark place or a bumpy place.
Yes, yes, that's such a great point.
That was just huge, but I think it's true for everybody who's doing what they're supposed to do for them.
Yes. Yes. And for some of us, it looks like work. And for some of
Mhm.
us, it looks like parenting. And for some of us, it looks like, walking the dog and being kindness walking through the neighborhood. You don't
Right,
know how many people in their houses you're affecting when you go for a walk in front of them. But we're
great.
all that potent. We're bringing beautiful energy into the line at the grocery store, into the teller at the bank, and to the other cars around us when we're sitting in traffic.
Right. And if traffic is bumpy, I assume it's me. So I immediately start meditating on peace.
And the
Yeah.
best drive I ever had, I used to live in Northern California, in Napa Valley, and visit my parents in Southern California.
hmm
And I would breathe in light and breathe out love. And it made for
hmm
the most peaceful, blissful drive. I would get there and I'd be like, it was like I had taken the most wonderful nap.
What I call it a non-traffic day.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, it's a non-traffic day because I'm in the right place. And if I am in the, if things are not going well, I'm just like, well, you're in the wrong place. Better
And
start breathing.
sometimes the angels are slowing you down so you
Yeah,
arrive at divine
too.
perfect timing.
Yeah, we never know with all of that. Okay, and something else you said that is so important for people who think they haven't found their purpose. You probably have if you're doing this work because you're on the path, but what you dream of, the beauty you see in the world, the way you want the perfect world to be, that vision, that imagination, that energy from you is so important because it is already helping to create a new world. And we need as many dreamers and as many different people as we can possibly find to create it.
Yes. Yes. And the angels want to jump in because two of my
Do.
closest beloved colleagues are not visionaries.
Hmm.
Like they love that I'm a visionary and they love making it so. So there's a balance, right? Not all of us, I mean, we can all be dreamers for sure.
Right.
And if you're not getting broad visions of what's coming, well, maybe that's not your role, and that's fine. The more we can just love ourselves how we are, how we were created. It's challenging not to wish we have other people's gifts, right? I talk to people who have really cool gifts, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had that one. And then they're like,
Hmm.
well, you have other things, and
Well, none of us get all of them.
we can't have all of them. It would be
Yeah.
overwhelming.
It would be. But even if they're just happy, your friends, that happiness goes out into whatever is new. So they are creating it.
Absolutely. And they love to take something that already exists and make it better.
Well, that's
And how
great.
cool is that? Because I only want to do it for a little while until it gets going, and then I like to hand it off to somebody who wants to keep it going and make it better.
Right. And so our difference, our uniqueness is really one of the best things right now. And if you think you're weird, notice what's weird about you because those are probably some of your best qualities.
Absolutely. And notice the things people compliment you on. So,
Hmm.
one of the funny things about things that feel as natural as breathing, it's like the water that you're swimming in. You just assume anybody could do that because it's so effortless for you. But there are oftentimes things that people will remark on and will be like, what? Doesn't everybody do that? Those are the things. Notice those things.
Right. Give us an example on that if you can think of one.
Oh, well, a simple everyday one is I know some people who can walk into a pantry and grab a bunch of random ingredients, maybe see what was in the vegetable drawer, and whip up a delicious meal. And
Yeah.
then most people need a recipe, and even then it may not be so delicious because they're not so great at following the recipe. So the some people's superpower is being able to know what goes together and to somehow alchemize it, right? They're putting
Right.
some love into it, they're putting some creativity into it, and it tastes fabulous, and it has the added benefit for ourselves, for our body, for our spirit of being made with love. So our superpowers don't have to be anything big and obvious. It can be that we can make something out of nothing. We can upcycle ingredients into, we can take old jeans and make great purses out of them.
Right.
Whatever brings you joy.
But the joy helps on the planet. There's no question about that.
Yes. Oh, and
So,
the angels want to add that, it's easy to say joy, but not everybody really resonates with joy. I've had some
mhm,
clients over the years who are like, I'm not sure I even want joy. I don't remember ever feeling joy. I'm like,
wow.
well, maybe your thing is peace. Like find that thing that is the energy you desire or that you find most harmonious when you're there. And so maybe that's your thing. Maybe calm is your thing. It's not about joy or enthusiasm like my superpower.
I really think that angels bring a feeling of light happiness and being uplifted.
Yes. Yes,
It's a
they love
certain
to
kind
make
of
us laugh.
happiness that nothing else feels like.
Yes. It's so nourishing and nurturing at the same time. Yeah,
Mhm. It's a sweet energy.
that's a perfect word.
And that's one reason that we're talking about all of this is because we want you to find and use the sweet energy and to use it in your life. So I've been talking with Sue Elliot. I'm Julia Griffin. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about working with angels and how they can make such a huge difference in your life and how they can make everything feel lighter. So we'll be right back.
Are you struggling with unresolved emotions or recurring patterns? Tune into Beyond Birth Trauma, From Burden to Brilliance with me, Shannon O'Flaherty, on Transformation Talk Radio. On the second Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, we'll explore your own birth experiences and consider how they might be affecting your current life patterns to start your journey towards self-discovery and healing. For more information, visit shannonbtb.com. That's shannonbtb.com.
Hi, I'm Gwenham Carsley. Hi, I'm Gwenham Carsley, transformational body, sex, and soul coach. This is not a show just about sex. This is a show about being raw, real, and awake inside the skin you're in. This is about the mess and magnificence of being human through the gateways of intimacy, eros, and what we rarely tell. It's a reckoning with the real, where breath meets bone, where truth undresses us and gasps seep through the cracks. We're not here to behave. We're here to feel, to experience, to grow and expand, not at the convenience of others. It's for the parts of you that have been silenced, ache, grieve, pulse, remember, and forget. We strip it all back. The shame, the scripts, the performative sex, and performative self. We speak the unspoken. We get intimate, not just with bodies, but with truth, gritty and soul-bearing. We explore what it means to live inside, knowing we are going to die, not as someone you were told to be, but as who you really are beneath it all. Imperfect, hungry, sacred, messy, in skin, in soul. Join me at Skin and Soul, Fridays at 10 a.m. PST on Transformation Talk Radio.
Welcome back. I'm Julia Griffin, and I'm here with my angel coach, Sue Elliot. And we're going to tell you more about angels and our experiences and how you can experience that wonderful light and sweet energy of the angels. So let's go ahead and get started. Something that sort of fascinated me is you worked for a magazine called Law of Attraction, right? So
Yeah.
you were writing about that. And one of the things that you said is that sometimes you have to sort of surrender it to divine guidance. And sometimes, writing now, doing a board or whatever it is, things will manifest exactly like that. So there's kind of a contradiction. Now, in my life, I'll say with the big things that, and I've seen this with clients too, I have blocks about it that I've really had to work hard to get through to get the bigger things in my life. But smaller things, hi, Julia.
Yes, I think it was Louise Hay who used to talk about green lights and parking spaces being the first
Yeah,
thing that people manifest.
yeah.
And so the angels wanted to say, I created Law of Attraction magazine. I was working with a publishing company whose nickname was Source, which was just
Oh,
so
how
awesome.
cool.
And so
Yeah,
Source published the magazine I wanted to do. But I would have loved to have a broader name for it, like Joyful Living or, something more like that. They glommed onto Law of Attraction, and that was fine because that was when The Secret came out. It was kind of trendy.
right.
But what we found with pretty much everybody was what you described. Like some things manifest really easily. Maybe it was these three areas of my life are going great, but every time I try and do something around money or every time I try and do something around a relationship, you know, it's like two steps forward, three steps back.
Right.
And so the angels were saying a few things about that. One is that we have a lot of subconscious programming, and
Hmm.
that's usually what gets in the way. So it could be just the energy soup on the planet, but it could be our family of origin that had some beliefs around money or relationships. It could even be past life stuff that we're processing through in
Now,
this life
you
or
often
different
think,
experiences.
often think our childhood experiences are related to our past life karma because they feel heavy in a way that nothing else does in your life usually.
Oh, that's intriguing. Yes, I get a yes to that most of the time.
Yeah,
And so a lot of that early childhood stuff, Dr. Bruce Lipton likes to talk about how the first 7 years of our life were just wide open. We take it all in as the rules to live by.
right.
And then that stuff becomes subconscious programming. So if we keep doing all the practices the same way we did it with, work, and it doesn't work for money or love, it's probably that programming. So the angels are very good at dissolving stuff. We don't have to excavate it. We don't have to examine it. We can just tell them, thank you, angels, for taking care of all the limiting beliefs and subconscious programming that are getting in my way. But they also want to add that sometimes when it looks like we're not manifesting properly, and I used to see lots of clients about this in the beginning, it's because we're on a journey of evolving and becoming.
Right.
So, in some of the law of attraction practices, you're like, okay, I want my beloved and I want them at 2 o'clock on Tuesday.
Right.
And they're gonna have this, let me get out my scroll of qualities that they should have, 372 qualities. And so the angels wanted to say, we may not be ready for that person right now.
You might not want that person.
That too. So we're on this journey of maybe something shut us down and we no longer feel comfortable speaking up for ourselves. So we're going to have some experiences that help us in a very gentle way learn how to find our voice again and how to speak up. And maybe we're going to find that 27 of those qualities were really things that my mom told me I should want, and I don't want those at all. So we're going to go on this sort of scavenger hunt as we're gathering. We bring a gift when we go on a date with somebody or just meet somebody on, at a party, and they bring us a gift, we bring them a gift. It's this lovely exchange. And so the more we can sort of enjoy the journey, we think we're going to get the relationship and then everything's going to be great, or we're going to get the house and then everything's going to be great. But all those things, the promotion, we feel great for a little while, an hour, a week, maybe even a month.
Right.
But then we're back to now what? So the more
Because we're evolving. If it made us that happy and it stayed that way, we wouldn't keep working.
Exactly. And it's really, we think it's about the destination, but it's all journey. The destination is just a little stopping point on the train tracks, right? And then we go to the next one and
It's
the
like we
next
get
one.
to get off at a beautiful hotel for 3 or 4 days and then we're back.
Yes, yes. And then
Yeah.
we're ready for something new and exciting. And so the angels want to add there's nothing wrong if you're not feeling marvelous forever because you got that one thing. That's just not how it works.
Right. It helps, but it doesn't really get you there because what we're looking for is changing ourselves and receiving the kind of light that the angels and the universe send to us.
Yes. And the angels are really helping us simply let go of what's not truly us.
Hmm.
Now, the limiting beliefs, the subconscious programmings, all the stuff we call gunk, it just gets in the way of us being our unique aspect of the divine, right? The way we were made by the divine. So more and more, they're just going to show us that stuff. We can give them carte blanche to dissolve it, right? Thank you, angels, for dissolving all the stuff that's not true
Yeah.
Sue or, the essence
Yeah.
of me. And sometimes it's a benefit for us to see it, so they'll show it to us so we could have that aha moment. And
There's a really good chapter in your book on dissolving subconscious patterns, which is what I was coming around to.
and the angels love to do that. So we actually created an angel attunement that starts off each of the 63 short chapters, and the angels have attuned those words and pictures to dissolve the subconscious programs and the
Oh,
limiting
yay.
beliefs
Let me
that
have
go with
more of that.
Yes. So while it's a self-help book, the angels do a lot of work for us too through the book. So we like to joke you could put it under your pillow and you would get the same benefit, but it's probably more fun to read it.
I know that that's true because I used to write a lot of interviews for Spirit of Mott, and sometimes I couldn't read the whole book. So I'd put it under my pillow and then just flip through it, and wherever it opened, I would make that into the questions. And one
I
time someone said, "No one has ever read my book so carefully." And I was like, "Oh, how wonderful."
Your secret is safe, and I love that so much. You can do
Yeah.
that with this. Oh, certainly you can do that with any book. The angels want to
Yeah.
say you could do it with the dictionary. But we designed this book so that you could ask a question and close your eyes and open it to a random page, or if you have the digital version, you'll usually hear a number, and then you can go to that
Oh,
page.
so let's ask an angel question for me. What's my next step?
Oh, do you want me to use the book or just do it straight with the angels?
Just do it straight through.
Okay, what's your next step? Ooh, okay. So they want you to know that you have many, many choices. And we all do. We live on a free will planet.
Yeah.
They would never interfere in that. So They want you to play with it.
Okay, that's
So
kind of
funny
what I
because
thought.
they're
That's what
showing
I
me
got
a
myself.
dance. They're
Yeah.
showing me like you take a step and you're like, good but not
Okay,
great.
I'll
You
step
take
over
another
here and
step, you're
see.
like, definitely not that.
That's pretty
Yeah.
much what I'm doing right now. I haven't decided.
Oh, good. Well, no wonder that was the answer because sometimes it's
Yeah.
much more explicit than that. But they really wanted you to enjoy trying different things.
Okay, enjoy the dance.
Yes.
Okay, so one of the things that I think is so important, and you did so well on this part of the book, it's further on in the book for all of you who are going to go and buy it right now. She talks a lot about self-love and about becoming love and about putting yourself first. I talked about that briefly in the beginning, but tell us about that.
Well, so the world that we all know is possible, the world that you and I, and I'm fairly sure all of your listeners, if they're drawn to this, are here to co-create, is a world filled with divine unconditional love. And that has to start with love for self first. We've been in a world full of subconscious programming, collective programming, that would have us self-sacrifice and that would have us so fearful that we try and manipulate and control others in order to feel safe.
Right.
Those behaviors instantly disappear when we be love for ourselves first. So the other day, somebody asked me um, if you being love for yourself first can make you a narcissist, right? It's so selfish that you're going to become somebody with narcissistic personality disorder. And the angels actually said, being love for yourself, loving yourself is the cure for narcissistic personality disorder. It's the cure for everything. It's the cure for a world where people take advantage of each other. It's the cure for a world where people would do hurtful things to plants, animals, the planet, people. It is my favorite angel joke is love is the answer. What was the
Mhm.
question?
Right.
Because whatever the question is, love is the answer. But if we don't, we've been programmed to put others before ourselves, especially healers, coaches, moms,
Yeah,
men as well as women, but certainly women even more so, right? You're supposed
I
to care for the
agree.
children, and then you're supposed to care for the parents, and the problem is we start to build up this load of resentment and disappointment and bitterness. And it's so much more than you can't fill someone else's cup if your cup is empty.
True.
When you be love for yourself first, when you notice inner harmony or inner turbulence, and if it's not inner harmony, you be love for yourself first. So you soothe yourself with touch or with words, or you call a friend or call your coach, right? Do whatever it is that you need to do to come back to harmony. When you do that first, everything that you say from that energy, space, and consciousness is filled with divine unconditional love, which is the most powerful energy in the cosmos. So you literally could spend a week coming back into harmony and say one sentence and accomplish more than if you'd spent that whole week trying to do it the old way, trying
Right.
to make things happen. So and when we center ourselves and love ourselves first, we don't lash out in anger. We don't feel needy and look for external validation or try and prove our worth. It is literally the cure for everything.
And I've noticed too, this is the wrong word, but I'm going to say that I'm more self-disciplined because I let myself do more yoga, meditate more, go outside and see the flowers, and stay in a place where I'm centered. If I
Yes.
don't do that work, I just start to lose it. And the irony of it is sometimes I'll say, oh, I need to work. I don't have time to do yoga, or I should just do half my meditation. When self-love is doing those things.
Yes. There's an old Buddhist teaching story where, the teacher, I think it was a lama, says, meditate for an hour a day. And somebody says, what if you don't have time to meditate? And then he says, meditate for 2 hours that day.
Right. Because those things that I'm talking about, and I'm sure you do have similar things, they tend to change the way time flows.
And our effectiveness, right? We know the difference between trying to do things from, frustration or urgency versus being in the flow, being in
Hmm.
the zone, right? We can get so much done in so little time when we're in that flow state. And the faster I try and type an email and just get it done so I can go on to the next thing, the more typos I make, the longer it takes. It carries that energy of upset and urgency, so it
Right.
gets misinterpreted. So really
I
taking
know.
that 5 minutes to love yourself back into harmony, or 5 days, will make everything else so much more effective.
Can you give us a couple of examples of how to love yourself, how you project that self-love? Because sometimes people don't know that if they're having a really
Right.
hard time or they've been in a difficult relationship.
Absolutely. And very few of us on this planet have experienced unconditional love. Most love is you don't write, you don't call, you don't love me anymore. You get guilted, or if you act this way and you're a good girl or a good boy, then you get love and rewards. And if you
I
do that, then you
actually
get punishment.
had that for the last few months of my father's life, and I was so surprised because we are what we believed about the outer world's 180 degrees apart. So we had always argued, well, that was just, I didn't care anymore. But if he asked me for a glass of water, it would make me feel ecstatic to go and get it and bring it back to him. If he wanted me to sit by him, it just thrilled me. And that was, I thought at the end, I thought, wow, that's so hard that I've got to give this up. I wish I'd had it all along. And then I thought, no, I'm lucky that I had it at all.
Yes. Yes. So that feeling of I love you no matter what, right?
Hmm.
That is how the divine feels about us. And that is how the angels feel about us. So if you're struggling to feel that for yourself, let the angels help, right? Angels, thank you for filling me with the energy of divine unconditional love.
Or help me
Angels,
transcend my filters. Because that's what
angels,
happened to me. And it really
yeah,
changed me. Because it
yes,
was
angels,
like, oh, he's right about this. He's wrong about that. And I thought, why did I ever think that? Of course, I don't care.
yes, yes. Angels, thank you for helping me see myself the way you see me.
Hmm.
Angels, thank you for helping me see that other person the way you see them, right? How beautiful would the world be if we all looked at everything through the eyes of divine unconditional
We
love?
might live forever if everyone could get there.
We could.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we could choose when we're ready to come back in a new form and do it again a different way.
Yeah, I know. It is fun to change things up.
So those were some great examples of how to love ourselves. Sometimes loving ourselves looks like just taking a nap, right? If we're really
Hmm.
disconnected and we're feeling exhausted. Sometimes loving ourselves looks like noticing that I've been sitting here trying to get one more task done before I go to the bathroom, but I really have to go to the bathroom. So loving
Right.
myself is getting up and going to the bathroom. It
I
doesn't
know.
have to be any big, hairy deal. It's just
It can just be something
noticing.
like sometimes I'll hear like, you said you would take better care of yourself. I'm like, okay, I'm stopping. I'll go and do it.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it
So
sets up a whole new pattern.
exactly. And it starts with the smallest, most mundane things. They're urging us not to start with the big thing, right? If you're not
Right.
happy with something about your body, don't work on that first. Work
Right.
on, you know, I, oh, they want to put this in. They really don't want us to judge ourselves for feeling judgmental, for not being perfect, for having a critical thought. They want to say that all of those things are a sort of preemptive strike. So there's a part of us that got traumatized,
Right.
shamed, humiliated, laughed at, punished as a
Right.
child
Well,
for
we all got our
doing
hearts broken, let's face it, as a child.
right and as adults.
Yeah.
So that judgment of self or others is really trying to keep us safe. So the
Right.
more we can meet that part of us that's trying to keep us safe with love, and the part of us who's afraid of getting shamed again with
Mhm.
love. So part of that being love for ourselves is loving our emotions,
Right.
reading them as messengers, welcoming them instead of trying to not feel anxious or not feel angry. Just, hey, anger, what would you like me to know? Hey,
Right.
anxiety, what would you like me to know? And the moment we see it and acknowledge it and be loving with it, the moment it can go back to the playground and play with all the other emotions till it has a new message to deliver.
That's perfect because I was just going to ask you about it. I know when I'm angry, I'm usually overwhelmed. I've learned that at least. So I'll say, what am I overwhelmed about?
Yes, yes. And they want to add, so we love treating emotions as messengers. And we love also giving our body a chance to get rid of stuck emotion. So almost
Oh,
every family of origin had at least one emotion that you weren't allowed to feel, right? Maybe you
right.
weren't allowed to be sad, or you weren't allowed to be angry, or maybe you weren't allowed to be too happy because mom and dad were so miserable, your happiness was freaking annoying. So if there's stuck emotion in your system, it eventually can manifest as symptoms. So the angels want us to get that anger out, right? Like put on, I like to dance around to Judas Priest. Put on some music that helps you get anger out, or
Right.
rip up junk mail into little tiny pieces, and I promise you'll feel better afterwards. Or if you have a lot of sadness because you weren't allowed to be sad, watch some tearjerker movies, listen to music that makes you cry, like anything that helps you get it out. You don't have to know why it's there or how long it's been there. Just let it out. And you'll know when it comes up again, because all of a sudden you'll feel angry in sort of random moments and you're like, "Oh, must be some anger coming out. Let me tend to that."
Right. Or you could send it up to the light if you wanted. Um,
Absolutely.
one point that you make in the book, probably didn't go quite back as into it as I'm going to say, but most of the people who are here now and have a spiritual interest are so complex because we've had so many lives. I mean, we're really living with lots of different aspects of ourselves at one time. I think you described it when you said, I'm doing a dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And for most of us, perhaps more light workers than anyone else, but certainly everybody on this planet has had trauma and has been told that at least one aspect of you is wrong, or too
Yeah.
much, or not enough,
Hmm.
right? So this is a
Or
part of the
both.
journey. Yes, depending who's talking, or the same
Right.
person could have different reactions at different times. So this is a journey of welcoming back all those pieces of ourselves and loving ourselves back into wholeness and harmony.
Right. And teaching all those different parts of yourself to work together.
Oh, yeah. Or
Yeah.
sometimes different ones want to take the lead, right? The
I
part of
know.
me that is good at mechanical things is
Mhm.
not going to write the book, and the part of
No,
me that writes the book is not going to fix a car, right? Like it's just
exactly. Yeah.
so recognizing that, being okay with that. I don't have to show up the same everywhere I go. I can still be
No.
authentic and show up differently, different emphases of who I am.
Right. Like if you have a cooking day.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I don't want to do that all day, every day, but every now and then I do, and I enjoy it immensely.
Yes. And the angels want to add that a lot of us were taught you have to finish everything you start.
Right.
And winners never quit and quitters never win. And how do you discover new things if you don't let yourself try something and not do it if you don't like it? So they
Right.
really want to say sometimes your guidance is going to say, go take a bird watching class. And it wasn't about becoming a bird watcher. It was because you're going to need the binoculars for something that happens 3 weeks from now. And that was the easiest way to get you to buy them.
Right.
Or you're going to meet that person who's your new best friend in the bird watching class, and one class was enough. Or maybe you're going to love bird watching. But the more we can let ourselves try things and not feel like we're bad or wrong if we don't take
Well,
all
that's
12
embracing
classes.
mystery.
Yes. Yes. Yes, and being that kind and loving parent that we may or may not have had, right?
Right.
So
That's
how
really
do we,
hard.
yeah. And so if it is hard, again, delegate it to the angels, right?
Right. Just
Angels,
keep
thank
giving
you
it
for
back.
making that easier.
Yeah. And so it's a way of creating a whole new horizon.
Yes, creating so much possibility
Yeah.
and allowing ourselves to maybe engage three or four different parts of ourselves that we didn't have in a previous life that want to play together and
I
do something
know.
new in this life.
We should say that everybody has new parts this lifetime for sure. New
Yeah.
unexplored parts.
Thank you, because this is all new. I've never had the angels say this through me before, so it's super cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's exciting. It
yes, we're
really
different.
is.
We're different and we're expanding and we're exploring. And so the more we can view it with the innocence of a toddler or a small child, that is the truth of us. That is our original factory settings, is open and receptive and curious.
And I think that's a great and beautiful mystery is how we're going to bring together the parts, all the different parts of ourselves, and how we're going to come together as a group and create a different world.
Yes. Yes, and we're doing it. We're
I
doing it
know.
moment by moment through the conversation you have with the teller at the bank and the dog that you pet on your walk and the person who feels seen.
Right.
It's the little moments all day long that are really doing it.
I can remember that right after I got divorced, I was so tired, and this nurse sat down and she patted me on my shoulder and she said, "You're tired. I want you to feel better soon." She said, "I appreciate you." And she went out and I got warm and I didn't feel so tired. And I thought, wow, that's what a healer feels like.
Yes. And we all have the ability to do that. We don't have to have any kind of special skills, right? We can
But I just
just
remember how much
be.
it picked me up, and other people don't always realize that.
The other day, similar to that, I was going into a meditation, actually. It was a guided meditation being taught as a class. And there was a woman outside on speakerphone with her father who clearly had dementia. And I just stopped and put my hand on her shoulder and, like, looked at her with love before I went into the class. And she was so appreciative afterwards. She's like, I just felt seen. Thank you.
Hmm. It really does help. So we're coming to the end. So Sue, tell us your website and tell us about any events you have that are coming up and other services that they can contact you for.
Oh, thank you. It's myangelcoach.com, and the book is My Angel Coach. We have a gift for you. So if this feels yummy, we have an 8-minute audio called Soothing Energy from the Angels that you can find at myangelcoach.com/soothing. And we are about to release a set of money and abundance audios. So I'm glad that we touched on that today. It's actually 3 hours of angel content, healings, clearings, getting rid of all kinds of gunk around money and worthiness and giving and receiving and all the things.
So the
Relationships.
universe can come through.
Yes, so that resources can flow to you from a million different directions. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the flows of abundance came from everywhere?
Yes. So that's great. And so now you know where to find Sue. You can find me at onetrueself.com, and you can sign up for my newsletter on my website. I write 2 newsletters every month, and I try to talk about the energy, the moons, and ways of creating the life you want. So Sue, thank you so much for being here. Namaste.
Oh, thank you, beautiful.
Thank you for listening to the Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia Griffin to master a higher frequency for a new state of mind. Join us next time as Julia takes us deeper into the memory of the moments of light where transcendence and enlightenment emerge. The memory of the jewel of consciousness is always lived within you to tap into waves of energy and create huge changes by imagining the beauty of the vision and desires that are hidden in the heart. Learn to find your way back to nature, beauty, and your own heart, which holds the secrets of your existence and future. To discover more about Julia's adventures, animal communication, and the teachings she brings to every show, visit onetrueself.com. That's onetrueself.com. That's ONE, trueself.com.